So in today's video, I'm gonna be taking you guys through some of the mistakes that I've made when it comes to back training. What is going on? So I'm going on for some cafe, checking in with you guys. Guys are doing well, doing terrific, and we're back with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking you guys through some of the mistakes that I've made when it comes to back training. So we all know they say the shows are won from the back. Yes, we all want that big back. You want that big team wide body, walking through the door, asking your girlfriend, telling your girlfriend and your mom, hey mom, I need a new door because my back is too wide. We all want that big back. But I think a lot of people are making a lot of mistakes when it comes to back training. I've made mistakes over the years, so I'm hoping when you see this video, you can catch yourself and you can learn a thing or two from this video and apply that to your training, and you can join the team wide body. Of course, we're doing back today, so sipping on that pre-workout, you know the deal. BPM Fly will allow you to help your boy and keep supporting the channel. Without further ado, let's get into the first movement. All right, so the first mistake I used to make is thinking barbell movement is the key. And that's not to the fault of my own, it's because I read it in Muscular Development Magazine, Flex Magazine. A lot of you guys might not know what that is because you're too young. But it's the same thing as, you know, watching your favorite YouTube videos, probably watching your favorite YouTubers, following your favorite Fitspo on Instagram, telling you if you want to grow a big back, you gotta roll. Barbell movement is the key. But what you don't understand when it comes to any training, the only thing I've said this multiple times over and over again, well, you need to consider is SFR, stimulus fatigue ratio. What's going to give you the most amount of stimulus, not a lot of fatigue. Yes, barbell row movement is great, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't do it, but how can you progress with a barbell movement? A lot of times when you keep adding loads, a few things are gonna happen. Your form is gonna go to shits. You start to use a lot of body English, and chances are your lower back is gonna get taxed out before your actual back, the muscle that you're trying to train, get taxed out. So am I saying barbell movement is wrong? No, I used to make that mistake thinking, oh my God, if I wanna grow my back, I gotta row. But then I realized my back is just giving out, and my lower back is getting fatigued, but the actual muscle that I'm trying to train might be, you know, it's just now doing the trick for me. So let me show you other alternatives you can use instead of a barbell row. All right, so a good alternative to the barbell row is one using a dumbbell, like I'm displaying on the screen for you guys. Using a dumbbell allows you, one, just to have a better range of motion, and the bar is not stopping at your chest compared to like a barbell movement. But Sam, you said barbell row movement is not really that great because it tasks your lower back out. So an alternative, if you find yourself using a barbell row and it gets to a point where you know your lower back is getting more fatigued, then you can switch to something like a chest supported row like I'm doing here with a dumbbell. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know how much I love the dumbbell incline chest supported row. It's one of my favorite movements, obviously because it takes your lower back out of movement. You get a nice stretch and contraction, a good range of motion too. And of course you can use all their movements, but again, you can see it lines up well with the same pattern as a barbell row, but my lower back is not fatigued. My back is actually the first thing that's gonna give out, not my lower back. So those are two great alternatives to a barbell row, and that's one of the biggest mistakes I used to make, thinking barbell row movement is one of the, you know, I must do barbell row movements if I wanna grow my back. So another big mistake that I used to make, that I see a lot of people make, especially when it comes to my clients, is using straps. Yes, you should use straps when you have it. It's a great tool that you can actually use that can actually make a significant difference into your training. Could be wrist straps, could be straps like this. And there's a carryover effect too. If your goal is powerlifting and you worry about losing the grip strength, there's a carryover into using straps in your training that can carry over to having a good grip strength or adding a lot of total to your deadlifts or row movement like that. I used to be the guy like, no, it's all me. I want to be able to do the job. But a lot of times when you use straps just, you know, takes away the limiting factor, which would be your grip strength or your forearm out of the equation, and it actually allow you to roll a little more load and be less focused about worrying about where your grip is going to give out. You can actually focus more on the particular muscle you're trying to train, i.e. back, rhomboids, whatever that pulling movement is. So straps is your friend. Use it, and it can enhance and increase the amount of stimulus that it can generate when it comes to your back training. So this last point I'm going to be making is going to be talking about one of the biggest mistakes I used to make is I need more load. I need to swap the movement because the movement is not really working for me anymore. But this actually carries over to any sort of training programming or any particular muscle group that you're trying to build up. And that is, you can still do more with the current movements that you are using. So for instance, the chest supported row, for instance, if it gets to a point where, okay, if I add another load, it's gonna take me out of the range or the rep range that I wanna move, and I'm just gonna swap that movement out. Before you swap the movement, look for other ways to get more out of that movement. It could be just, trying to find ways to increase the range of motion of that movement. For instance, chest supported row, I think before a lot of people trying to chase a lot of load, when a lot of times you just need a little bit more, a little rounding on the chest supported row to work on that mid-back stretch and find ways to elongate the amount of stretch that you are going to get when you do any particular row movement. So the first tip that I want to share with you, again, just don't be so quick to swap movement out. Find ways of getting more out of the current movements that you are doing. So a good example would be something like a seated row, for instance. If you normally used to just roll like that, okay, I'm gonna get a slight little lean forward, just change my angle of pull a little bit, maybe slightly lean forward, get a little more contraction in your iliac lat, or I'm gonna sit up a little bit more, or change the angle of the rowing movement, get a little more upper back movement if you have access to a machine like this. So it doesn't have to be, oh yeah, you know what, this movement is not really working for me, let me find some other movement. Always look for ways to get the most out of the current movements that you're doing. And when you get to a point where, you know what, I'm not really getting anything out of this, then I'm gonna swap it and move to something else. Obviously, this is a horizontal pull. Just look for another movement. Could be a machine, could be a loaded plate, whatever machine you have access. Just thinking about it from the angle of horizontal movement, because that's what I'm trying to swap with. All right, so that is the video. Hopefully, you guys can learn a thing or two. You can recognize some of the mistakes that you've been making in your training program. You can change that. Hopefully, you can be well on your way to joining Team Wide Body. And if you see anything that you like in this video, give this video a thumbs up. Share with your friends that might need some help so they too can join Team Wide Body. There's a lot of room for us to all have wide backs. Go home, tell your wife, tell your family friends, tell your roommate, hey, we need a bigger door because our backs can't fit into this room anymore. Sam Colon for Sam OK Fit, checking out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.